Arcane Season 1 was my favourite show of last year. Yes, last year. I didn't watch Arcane till last year, I know. Disgraceful, disgusting, dislike the video. But I did make a video last year, basically just licking its ass. I said, if you've watched it, go rewatch it. If you haven't watched it, just go watch it. It is a show really designed for pretty much anyone to like, unless you're really homophobic. I'm just saying, there's a lot of gay people in this. I like it. But season 1 really blew me away. I was very aware of how good the show was because my friends were telling me about it. Arcane was really good, blah, 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 blah. But I never got round to watching it until last year, and I made a video on that. You can go check it out on the channel. I'm pretty sure it's still on the channel. I didn't delete it, thank God. So the wait for Arcane Season 2 was not very long for me at all. So when Arcane Season 2 finally came out, I was hyped. But yeah, you read the title. I think Arcane as a whole is a masterpiece. Yep. I know that word is thrown around quite often these days, but I genuinely think it is a masterpiece. It's very close to dethroning my favourite show of all time, as I mentioned in my previous video, I'm pretty sure, Mr. Robot. I'm still debating it, because there's only 2 seasons of Arcane. But Arcane Season 2 definitely has more issues than Season 1. Specifically, the pacing, but we'll get to that later. Arcane Season 1's pacing was phenomenal. I can remember a lot about that show just because of how good the pacing was. Obviously all the other aspects, the animation, the music, the acting, the writing, the plot, etc. But because of the pacing and how well paced it was, you can remember so much from that show. The character beats, you know, Silco, Vanda, Jinx, Echo in some ways, although Echo was in it, but he wasn't in it as much as I wanted. He still has the best fight in the series, I think, with the animation style, but basically, you can remember a lot about Arcane Season 1. Season 2, despite how fast the pacing is, I think a lot of people will remember more of Season 2 than they did Season 1. Specifically because it isn't as complicated as the first season. As I said, the first season is very political in a lot of ways. You got the underground, then you got top ground, okay? So the idea is poor people, rich people, that kind of thing. Season 2 kind of does away with all of that. I mean, there's elements there with Jinx and some other bits that I'm not going to spoil, but they really throw all of that away from Act 2 and from Act 2 and then to Act 3 in favor of this Arcane, conveniently. Oh, he said the name of the show. Where he said the... But it's the truth. They focus much more on the Arcane this time around because of a couple characters. Once again, I won't spoil it. But just because it does that doesn't mean that takes away from the season, okay? Season 2 is very different from Season 1 for good reason. There was very clearly a story they were trying to tell, and it comes together very nicely. Character development, my god, if you haven't watched this show, watch Season 1, take a break, you will never predict where Season 2 goes. It's kind of impossible because of how quick the story goes ahead and the kinds of things that happen and how they up the ante in so many ways that you, as a non-league player, because I don't play League, you can't predict. I'm sure loads of League players predicted it and they were probably just like, oh my god, fan service and all sorts, but that's another great thing about this show is that the fan service doesn't feel like fan service. If you haven't watched the show, obviously you're not going to know it's fan service, but a lot of shows, a lot of shows and movies, they clearly have fan service moments, and if you hadn't watched them or played the games or anything like that, you could pick up on it. You could pick up on it. Arcane, you just can't. You can't. The amount of research I had to do before doing this video to find out what was actually in the game, what they actually knew, the different backstories, the different abilities, that kind of thing. It's pretty amazing they managed to pull this off. I mean, this show really wouldn't work unless everything came together. Everything had to come together in Season 2. The soundtrack couldn't be worse. It had to be better or at least as good as the first season. Character arcs have to be as good as the first season or better. You get the point. You can't go backwards with Arcane Season 2. Of course, as I said, the pacing is an issue, and I guess they technically did go backwards on it. But at the same time, the story they were telling in Season 2 kind of needed that fast pacing because of how nuts it gets towards the end of Act 2 and Act 3. But they definitely took some liberties, okay? This is a wall. See? Wall. A lot of characters in Season 2, despite I think it being a masterpiece, do get pushed to the side in favour of characters that weren't in Season 1 that much, but have a much bigger role to play in Season 2. Specifically a character called Ambessa. I'm not going to go into plot details, not going to go into character arcs and all that, but Ambessa has a much bigger role in this season And I honestly, and I hate to say it because I called it a masterpiece, but I don't think they delivered with Ambessa at all. I'm probably one of the only people that feels that way because she is a badass character. She has some really cool scenes. But it all just falls apart in that third act because she becomes so fucking stupid. So stupid. You could say she was blinded by fear or blinded by ambition. That was the whole point. But a character that has survived as long as she did and has as much of a reputation as she does to go ahead and be that stupid, I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know. And I don't think her character gets a very satisfying ending for her arc, okay, in that final episode. Not saying where it goes, okay? But outside of that, and the pacing, I don't have any more flaws. I've spent this first half of this video trying to pick my words very carefully so I can come off as unbiased as possible, but I can't. This is a phenomenal show. The community around the show, oh my goodness, the community is so good. This is the League community. How is this possible? Everyone knows League is toxic as fuck. Everyone knows. People that don't play it know it. They see clips online, people smashing their fucking desks in, and then the community just comes together with this show. TikTok was made for this. Okay? Every character I like, even Ambessa, despite my issues with how her character goes out and all sorts with the ending of season 2, every character is just likable in some way, even the throwaway ones from season 1. I don't know if you remember season 1, those when Silk goes around the table and you've got the Undercity and they're all coming together, the different leaders of the gangs and stuff. Even those characters are memorable to me because of their designs or the way they spoke or how they went out. You know what I mean? Every single character is so fucking cool in this show. But the standouts this season absolutely are Jason Victor. Oh boy, Victor Nation. How we feeling? Of course, Jinx and Vi, and of course, Echo. Come on, Echo, if you've watched the show, you know what I mean. Season 2, Echo, he gets less screen time, weirdly enough, from season 1, if I remember correctly. But season 2 just delivers his character arc way better with one specific episode, which everyone loves. I've seen it all over TikTok. I like it as well. It's makes you feel good inside a little bit. Also sad. It's kind of tragic. Got me thinking about it now. But the point is, every character is sick, okay? I'm rambling. That's why you watch this channel, okay? I'm not gonna overly edit it. I'm just gonna talk. That's what I do. I'm the sticky man here. Stick with the sticky man by subscribing if you like it. Just let me know. Let me know if I'm doing anything wrong. One of the best things about this show is the soundtrack. It's the soundtrack. Whoever was tasked with picking out the artists, with making sure that the songs were right for the moment, or just made the scenes for the songs, or the songs were made for the scenes, they did a phenomenal job. I don't think there's a single bad song in Arcane, and there are songs that are in genres that I do not listen to personally. There are some kind of heavy metal stuff in here every now and then. I fucking love it. I love it when I'm driving to customers, because I work for an internet company, won't get into that. When I'm driving there, all I've been listening to is the season 2 soundtrack of Arcane for like the last week and a half, maybe longer. No, since the first act came out, so like last month. But each season, every time an act came out, there were new songs, and every time it just blew me away. I can't stop listening to it. Some of my favorites is Wasteland at the end of season 2, and pretty sure it's Goodbye, which is in the first season. I think it was episode 3 where Goodbye is played, if I remember correctly. But those are just my standouts, but there are so many other good ones, like Guns for Hire by Woodkid. Woodkid also comes back for season 2 for the first act, for one of the songs. I think it's just the first act. Then you got 21 Pilots with The Line. Oh my god, did he cross the line? The point is, soundtrack's good as well. What I'm trying to say is, if you haven't watched Arcane, just like the first video I made last year, go and watch it, man. Just stop worrying about it being an animation project. I'm sick of people saying that. Like, I'm not gonna watch it because it's animation. Shut the fuck up, man. Shut the hell up. And if you keep calling it an anime, you're gonna get slapped. Okay? It's not an anime, it's animation. Anime is very different. But yeah, Arcane is just it's just a phenomenon, to be honest with you. You're not gonna get a show like this until the spin-offs come out for a long time, because this season 2 took long enough, okay? And they already had a foundation to build off. They already knew where the story was going to go, so I can't imagine what they're going to do with the spin-offs and how long that's going to take and the budget they're going to need to do it. But it's going to be a long time since we get a show like Arcane, like anything like it really. There are going to be copycats. We're already seeing copycats with the animation styles that people or companies are using just because they want to be Arcane, the next Arcane. Ain't gonna work, because Arcane, it's a fucking masterpiece, man. It's a masterpiece. It has its flaws, like anything. And I know masterpiece, just the word masterpiece, masterpiece, piece, master chief, masterpiece. Masterpiece, yes, is thrown around a lot, okay? I understand that, but this is a genuine masterpiece. If you haven't watched it, watch it. How many people need to tell you to watch it? How many TikTok edits do you need to see? So many comments saying, wow, these edits are really good. What the hell is Arcane even about? Why don't you watch it? Dumbass. I miss doing that. I've missed doing that. I've missed the sticky man. But I will finish off with saying I'm not a film critic, okay? I've never reviewed things professionally, okay? I haven't reviewed games professionally, to be fair. I'm just a dude that likes to talk about stuff and is utterly useless at most other things, you know what I mean? So, you know, don't take my opinion as God's savior. I don't know why you would anyway. Fucking look at me. Look at this beard. It's gotta go. Look at that. I don't even have a mustache, man. It's just half a mustache. Shifu looking guy. Why am I being self-deprecating right now? So yeah, if you have watched it, go rewatch it. Even if you just watched season 2, just go rewatch it. Come on, nothing else is going to beat it at the minute. You're right in there. It's in your stomach, it's in your heart, man. It's in your brain constantly. Just go rewatch it. Get it out of your system. Like adding more to your system. Maths. I may make another video later on down the line when my thoughts have simmered, you know, it's been, I don't know, a year or something like that. I rewatch it, maybe my thoughts will change. Who knows? But outside of that, Arcane's kind of done on this channel for now. Kind of sad, really. 2 videos, 2 seasons. That's all we need, right? But yeah, last thing I want to say, thank you to everyone that is subscribed and has actually stuck with the channel despite me disappearing for 6 to 8 months, something like that. Been a little bit busy, but yeah, if you're new here, stick with the sticky man by subscribing. Really appreciate it. I want to try and get to 6k by, I don't know, next year, like halfway through summer, something like that. See how fast the channel grows. If it does, who knows what happens. But yeah, I just want to say thank you for sticking with me, that's all. But yeah, I do have a couple of videos coming out. I want to talk a bit about Prince of Persia, the Lost Crown, I believe it's called. Been replaying it on my Steam Deck. It is fucking amazing. And outside of that, I've got a few surprises coming. So yeah, just thank you all for watching. I really appreciate it. And yeah, goodbye. Check under your bed.